Hi, my name is Ash from Biarri. Today I'm in the Biarri office and I'm pleased to give you a quick overview of the Biarri Workforce application. Biarri Workforce is an innovative new rostering solution which automates roster creation and optimizes roster structure to minimize costs for your business. For some background, Biarri Workforce is a cloud-based app that enables rostering teams to prepare future rosters, release rosters when ready for publication, and to maintain the current roster for changes such as shift swaps or unplanned leave. Your rostering staff can use Biarri Workforce to manage multiple rosters at a time. There is also a connected mobile app which runs in iOS and Android for staff to receive and accept or reject shifts and to apply for leave or other unavailabilities. As you can see, there are 4 tabs in Biarri Workforce, each representing a different module. These are planning, rostering, leave, and admin. I will provide an overview of each of these tabs for you today, including the main functionality and benefits. However, in this video, we will mainly focus on the rostering module where I am now, as this is where rosters are generated and maintained. The planning module allows users to upload or generate work which needs to be completed in a roster. In Biarri Workforce, we call these work packages. The work packages can be user-defined or generated from demand, or activity profiles such as footfall data in a retail setting or flight arrival or departure information in an airport. Work packages can be defined by the user to be shift types, e.g. early shifts or late shifts, as we have in this example, or tasks associated with a customer, which might recur over time, for example, maintenance activities, or even tasks by skill or qualification. The key message is that the work packages and planning section is very flexible and enables the user to very easily generate work required to be rostered. As you can see, if we open the early and early 1 shift in this example, there is a lot of detail which can be defined for each work package type, including date range, the number of shifts to generate, the qualifications which apply, and any default employee allocations. For example, where specific employees must do this particular work. When you select a specific piece of work, you see an interface which can be used to define recurring complex shift patterns. Across to rostering. This is the main screen, and we will come back and spend more time here soon. Essentially, this is where rosters are created, managed, and published, and where the rostering teams can run optimizations or manually edit and change a roster. The Leave tab allows management of leave and unavailability requests submitted by staff through their mobile app. It shows the leave requests pending on the right-hand side of the screen, and the main table shows the status of all the requests, which can be filtered and sorted to easily see who is taking leave when. This module has an inbuilt approval process, which allows team leads to review and action leave requests. You can view the details of a leave request by selecting an entry in the table and then determine the necessary course of action. This will automatically notify relevant staff via push notifications to the mobile app. The admin module allows users to set up new rosters and define many of the rules and constraints which are important to ensure EBA compliance. There are a variety of data downloads and uploads available from the admin module, either directly via Excel file or API integration direct to your existing data sources. For example, you can use the data uploads to quickly import shifts or work and staff data, including qualifications and availabilities. It is also where you can download a roster report to share or post the roster. This is also where you can configure and define the rules within your EBA or other employment agreement. There is a very flexible rule configuration tool which allows users to define complex sets of rules to apply to an individual or groups of employees. These rules are used by both the optimization and validation functions in the tool to ensure that any roster created is compliant. For example, here you can see a rule which defines the maximum sequential days which an employee can work. Today we will be mostly focusing on features in the rostering module, where you can see your employees, the roster calendar, and any shifts that exist in the roster. Along the toolbar at the top, there are many useful actions that add to the roster or change the roster view, and I'll show you a few of these. But firstly, the screen. Down the left-hand side are employees or staff to be rostered. Across the top is the period being rostered, which can be configured to any length of time. At the bottom is the inventory of unallocated shifts. And on the right are the summary KPIs and the roster KPI panel, which provides you with immediate feedback on the quality of the roster. These are configurable to suit the requirements of your roster. The first feature I'm going to demonstrate today is how to add a new employee. You can do this by selecting Add Employee here on the toolbar. The first option is to create a new employee, and the second is to add an existing employee from another roster. An employee's group can be specified, for example, full-time, casual, junior or senior. The group allows for the work rules associated with that group to be applied to that employee. In addition to rules associated with an employee's group, you can also set for each individual employee target hours, minimum hours, the maximum shifts per day, and the employee's start and end date on the roster. Once saved, the new employee will appear on the roster page. The next feature I want to demonstrate is how you can add a shift to the roster. As I mentioned earlier in the planning module, you can create shifts in bulk as part of work packages. Or here in the roster module, you can use this add shifts function to easily and quickly create extra shifts. Using add shifts allows you to create a shift and set a paid duration, define any qualifications required. In this case, we will assign the chef qualification. And you can even set the employee you want the shift to go to. But I'm going to leave the shift unassigned for now. Once the shift is saved, it will appear in the tray below the roster in its respective day column, waiting to be allocated. Here is the shift we just created. This shift can be assigned to an employee. When I select the shift, however, the employees grey out. This is because the shift has the chef qualification, but none of the employees have this yet. This is a simple example of the rules checking in the system. To fix this, I'm going to right-click on the employee I want to add the chef qualification to and select Edit Employee. This opens a new window in which I can navigate to qualifications and give this employee the new qualification. Once saved, the new qualification will appear and we can return to the roster. Now when I select the shift, I can place it onto the employee with that qualification. Biarri Workforce allows the user to both manually allocate shifts to employees, as we have just done, and also to use the optimizer to automatically create a complete and legal roster with the lowest cost. The optimizer is a great way for you to quickly create an initial version of a roster, which is lowest cost. It is also a great way to take a lot of the effort out of creating and managing large-scale rosters. To demonstrate this, I'm going to generate an optimized roster now. But before you optimize, If you know that you want a specific employee to have a specific shift, you can allocate the shift manually and lock it to that person. See the lock icon on that shift. Now this shift will not be moved by the optimizer and cannot be edited without first unlocking it. Now we will hit Optimize. As you can see, all the shifts have been allocated to employees. The next feature to demonstrate are applying availability and roster validation. You may have noticed on the roster that some days are coloured. The colouring shows the different availability state of employees on those days. For example, the employees on annual leave have their days coloured purple, and grey shows those days that are unavailable. Availabilities can be applied with more detail under the Add Employee drop-down menu, or painted on whole days using the paintbrush tool here. Biarri Workforce has powerful roster validation logic also, so that users can confirm rosters are legal and compliant with EA and work agreements. Any violations in the roster need to be signed off in the system before a roster is released. Here you can see a violation being created as I assign a shift to a staff member who is unavailable. Once you are happy with the roster, select which days you want to release and send it to your staff using the Biarri Workforce mobile application. The mobile app is the main interface your staff will have with Biarri Workforce. It allows them to receive shifts and communicate availability and work preferences. Any staff member can see easily all of the shifts they have been allocated and accept or reject this work. When a staff member interacts with the app, the Biarri web interface is automatically updated, so the planner can maintain the roster and replan in response to accepted or rejected shifts. Shifts can be automatically synced with phone and PC calendars using the Calendar Sync section. Staff can submit leave requests and view existing requests in the Leave tab. To create a new request, tap the plus button and fill in your leave data. Once complete, save the request and it will be sent to your manager for approval in the Biarri Workforce web application. I hope you have enjoyed today's short tour of the key features of Biarri Workforce. There are new functions being added by our team every week, so please stay tuned to our website at www.biarriworkforce.com and be sure to give us a call, as we'd love to have a chat with you about improving your rostering.